Back before everything revolved around screens, my friends and I used to spend most of our free time outside. We didn't need a plan or a destination. If the sun was still up or even if it wasn't, we'd grab our bikes and just go. Looking back now, it feels like a completely different world. Near the neighborhood where I grew up, there was a public park that most people ignore. During the day, families used it for picnics or kids played on the swings, but at night, it became ours. It sat slightly downhill from the road, surrounded by trees on nearly every side. Once you were inside, the street nose disappeared, and it felt cut off from everything else. I was around 14 when this happened. It was a warm weekend night, the kind where staying inside felt wrong. Earlier that evening, a few of us had been hanging out at a friend's house until his parents got fed up with the noise and told us to leave. 3 people went home, but the rest of us decided to ride to the park instead. There were 4 of us that night. The ride only took a few minutes, but biking through empty streets under streetlights always felt surreal, like the town belonged only to us. When we reached the park, everything looked normal. The playground was empty. The baseball field was dark. The only light came from a single lamp near the path. We climbed onto the playground structure like we always did, sitting on the platforms and talking quietly. For a while, nothing felt off. Then one of my friends suddenly stopped mid-sentence and told us to be quiet. At first, we didn't hear anything, just wind in the trees and the distant hum of cars. He said he thought he heard movement, something heavy, like footsteps on metal. We laughed it off. Old playgrounds make noise. But a few minutes later, we heard it too. A dull thump, followed by another. It sounded close, too close. We stood up and looked around, shining our phone lights toward the ground and the trees. Nothing moved, no shadows, no people. We even called out, asking if someone else was there, expecting maybe another group of kids. No one answered. We sat back down, trying to convince ourselves it was nothing. But the feeling had changed. The park felt smaller, quieter, like sound was being swallowed. Then we heard something that made my stomach drop, a voice. It was soft, high-pitched, and came from inside the playground equipment. It sounded like a child. We froze. None of us had seen anyone enter the park. And we definitely hadn't heard anyone climb onto the structure. One of us leaned closer and asked if someone was there. The voice answered. It said hello. I can't fully describe the fear that hit us in that moment. It didn't sound playful. It sounded flat, wrong, like someone mimicking what they thought a child should sound like. We tried asking questions, but the voice didn't respond again. After a long pause, one of us suggested that maybe a kid was hiding and needed help. Against our better judgment, I climbed down and checked inside the slide and tunnels. They were empty. There was nowhere someone could hide without us seeing them. That's when we heard the voice again, this time behind us. It said, "Come back." We didn't wait. We grabbed our bikes and took off as fast as we could, pedaling hard without looking back. My legs burned, my chest felt tight, and I swear I could hear footsteps behind us, even though it made no sense. When we reached my house, we didn't go inside right away. We stood in the backyard, trying to calm down, whispering about what just happened. That's when someone knocked on the gate. The knock was slow, deliberate. I asked who it was, expecting maybe a neighbor. A woman answered. Her voice was calm, almost cheerful. She asked if we had been at the park. Something about the question made my skin crawl. I peeked through the gap in the gate and saw her standing there, already looking straight at me. She was smiling, but her eyes didn't match it. They were wide, unblinking. I told her no. She asked again, like she already knew the answer. We didn't respond. After a long pause, she said, "Okay," but she didn't leave. She stayed there, silent, still smiling. We ran inside and locked the door. None of us slept that night. Years later, I moved to a different town. I thought the fear would fade with time. But something else happened that convinced me whatever that wasn't just a one-time thing. I was older, living alone, and used to walking in a nearby park to clear my head after work. One night, I noticed someone sitting on a bench, watching the path. When I passed, they didn't move. They didn't even turn their head, but I felt their eyes on me. When I walked faster, they followed. When I stopped, they stopped. I never heard their footsteps, just felt their presence. Eventually, I ran. And when I looked back from the street, they were standing just inside the trees, exactly where the light couldn't reach. I stopped walking in parks after that. Even now, sometimes when I pass one at night, I get that same feeling, like something is just beyond the edge of the light, watching, waiting. Some places remember you, and some things don't forget.